everyone, and welcome to episode 73 of the Video Games Ahoy Podcast. Woo! I'm very aware the picture's funny, but we'll fix that in a second. My name is Jonathan Radford. Oh, there's a noise. It's a subscription from ACP for 10 months in a row.
Thank you very much, Chickpea. I'm Daffy G. How are we doing?
I think that's beautiful.
It's always beautiful.
All I've got is sound in my ears. It's gone now. I'm Jonny Radford, and today I'm joined by, I had something ready, the DFG. It's Davy G.
The dreadfully fierce gorilla.
Yes, the dreadfully fierce gorilla.
That's me.
Hi. How are you doing? How are you doing, Dav? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
feeling good.
We just had some sound issues. I'm just editing this little picture here so you can get a bit more of us.
We tried switching from Zoom.
Yes.
And it did not go well.
It did not go well. But we're here. Hang on. There we go. Lovely.
Oh, looks good to me.
There's a picture. We at least have a picture. But yeah, Dav, you okay?
Yeah, all the better for seeing your beautiful face.
Man, it's lovely to see you too. I'm really enjoying your t-shirt.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Ducky G.
Yeah, a Ducky G. I really enjoy that. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. If you are watching us for the very first time, like we've said, we are Video Games Ahoy. We do these podcasts every Monday. We're probably going to be doing them more around about this time in future, but more the 5:05 mark, which is a lovely little time. Everyone's home from work. Tune in. Yeah. Watch some Twitch. If you can't catch us on a Monday, though, we put these episodes out onto Spotify, Amazon, podcast
iTunes,
iTunes. It's all over the place. It's everywhere. We're everywhere. We're also on YouTube.
We're everywhere.
So if you miss our faces, then you can see our faces over on YouTube.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Dav, should we just start talking about some news?
Let's get in.
We've got lots of juicy news this week. We've got lots of stuff to dive right into. The first thing we should talk about is Animal Crossing. Now, last week I said on this podcast that it would have to be something pretty big to get me back into the world of Animal Crossing, and yeah, it was pretty big. It was
huge.
It was pretty big. We've got seems like I'm 72 episodes late, but here I am. Act like there's a snake emoji here because I can't find it. There we are. Thank you. Is it Brainy Hyper? Thank you so much. Appreciate it. But we'll talk about Animal Crossing. Dav, did you see the Direct?
No, but I work in a school and I had the full debrief of everything that was mentioned in the Direct by my students. And it seems so hype.
I'm going to go through everything that has been announced. Some things I'll go into a bit more detail than others because a lot of it is self-explanatory. So the first thing is, this is the big stuff. Returning and upgraded special characters. There's just more characters coming back from the old games, which is nice. New special characters and villages. Again, that's quite nice. This is one of the first big things. This is Halves Island expansion. Now, Halves Island will now be even more useful with a shopping-themed expansion out the back. Because I used to just go there for pictures and stuff. But now, there's a whole shopping precinct out the back. It's like a big giant mall. And it works like a campsite, and you build it up and you get people to come there. So all the sellers that come to your town will now actually be able to go and set up shops there. So you get Kix, Sahara, and Leaf. They'll be there, as well as Tortimer, is it Katrina, and Harriet. They'll also offer new services as well, which is really cool.
Mate, so good.
Last week I said one of the issues that Rosie had with it, Rosie's my wife, if you don't know, was that she couldn't, it was the shopping aspect that she kind of felt a bit disappointed in. There was no...
Yeah,
you couldn't buy
stuff.
Yeah, you couldn't buy as much stuff as you'd like to, and you had to wait. I know the whole process is you have to wait a day, blah, 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 but like she just wanted to have more stuff now. Now! Yeah. And now she'll have it. She'll also get a chance to have a Froggy chair, because Froggy chair's back, baby.
Thank God.
I know, essential to Animal Crossing. Cooking and farming, which is, I like that. I like that those elements are there.
It's just so obvious. Yeah. It's such a good move.
Speaking of moving, you can move in a boat with Cap'n, because Cap'n is back.
Yeah, baby.
And ever since I saw the Direct and showed it to Rosie, we've not been able to stop singing Cap'n's song, which is usually about cucumbers and how handsome he is and his wife. And I can relate to that. I can totally relate to cucumbers. But yeah, I'm really excited. That I'm actually really excited for that. That's quite nice. It'll take you to a little island, and it's nice. It's nice. He sings you a sea shanty, which who doesn't want to hear a sea shanty?
Who doesn't want to hear that?
We'll also be getting The Roost, which I know, Dav, you said last week you're looking forward to sitting in a little coffee shop. As your little avatar with your animal friends, and now you get to do it.
I'm definitely planning to do some co-streams with people in the roost, just chilling and talking about streaming and stuff. Yeah. And Jonny, I need you to be on one of the first episodes.
Well, that'd be lovely. I'm more than happy to come and talk about. Can we have? I guess the whole thing is we have coffee.
We can talk about anything and everything. We can have a coffee.
Yeah,
and
we can have coffees. Time. Yeah, I'm totally down for that. Totally down for that. We'll also get new furniture. New fences, because who doesn't want new fences? More hairstyles, more reactions.
Yeah.
New songs for KK Slider. First-person camera, which I was actually really impressed by.
The camera's really cool.
It's really cool, because you can't just walk around your island in first person. You can't walk quickly, but I think that's really cool, really neat. Then you get gyroids, which are the little singing things you can dig up and they'll sing for you.
And those really cool, the pro licenses, you can really customize the inside of your houses now and how your island looks and stuff. It's really cool.
Absolutely wicked. And stretching. If you're the type of person that wants to stretch, you can do that now because they'll just have little stretching yoga sessions out the front, which is amazing. I'm just going to read out some quality of life stuff and then we'll get on to the juicy bit because this is going to lead us on to another conversation afterwards anyway. So the quality of life updates we get is villager house visits. They'll come to your house now. And I quite like that. They're just burst in unannounced, but still, I quite like that.
I love it.
You can scoot between furniture. I love how that's a thing. You can scoot because you couldn't do it, but now you just literally scoot. There's a storage shed, which is so needed. The fact that you'd be I have so many things, I don't want to go into my house and then go and that's a whole thing. There's a shed there now. You have a shed. Who doesn't want a shed? You get permanent ladders you can set up around your place. You can set up an own ABD somewhere else in your little town, which is basically where you can put money in and out, which is great. Or your bells, I should say. Island Life 101 app, which basically just helps. It's like a tutorial for anyone who's new and wants any information, which is nice. Island Ordinances. Now, this is actually quite a big thing, I think, for a lot of people, because the issue is that some people play Animal Crossing at different times of the day, and things only happen at certain times of the day. So, what they've done is, and this is something that's been requested from before, because I believe it was in older games, Island Ordinances can let you set up a rule to make your game suit your playstyle, which means you can set it up for people who wake up early, go to bed late, and I think it will you guys. So you can't. So early bird, night owl. Basically, it changes what times the villages and the shops will stay open.
Afternoon falcon.
Yeah, so basically, loads of things will change the time of the day and suit to your style as well, which I think is really cool because I was finding that I was not playing it in the evening. I was playing it in the morning because that's when I could play it. So yeah, that's quite a nice touch. I like that. I think that's really nice. More house exteriors, 3 new storage expansions, ceiling furniture, more wallpaper, amazing, patterns for furniture that can be worn or used as a wallpaper, and bridges and inclines increased from 8 to 10. That's quite a lot of free things that I think a lot of people have said, why wasn't there from the beginning? But you know what? If you're diving into Animal Crossing for the first time, that must be one hell of a juicy expansion to just dive right into. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
So the thing that I really want to talk about, because again, it's going to lead us on to a bigger conversation in general. Because you can't really complain about all they've given there in a sense. It might be a bit later than people would have liked, but it's here. So great. The thing I really want to talk about is the Happy Home Paradise, because this is a huge thing. This is actually, in fact, everything else that was kind of said before, me and Rosie were like, oh, that's nice. But this actually made me go, oh, this is the thing that makes me actually want to go back and play it. So basically, I'll just read it out and we'll have a chat about it, what the implications will be. So there's a huge, basically you go and set up holiday homes for either the animals that live in your island, because you can ask them if you want to set up your island, their own house, or just people will come up to you and say, I want this type of house, I want this type of island. And you basically have all unlimited funds to just go and build it. So it's not your house, you can't live there, but you just build houses for people. And you can build a restaurant, a school, a hospital, and I think there was something else, but I can't remember what it was. And yeah, it was all free. So basically it's kind of like The Sims with unlimited money. It's just you're building houses for other people. So as soon as Rosie saw that, she was I could see in her eyes the dread that was coming, knowing full well she's going to jump into this game. And basically, all of that stuff you do, you can earn currency called Poki, which you can buy specific things that you can't normally buy from your normal island. That's all being priced at $24.99, I think it is. $24.99, and it's coming out on the 5th of November. Let's start with that, Dav. What are your thoughts on that? And then we'll move on. We'll take the price and that whole thing. We'll move on to the next topic, because there was obviously something else that happened that day. What are your thoughts on that?
So I think it looks really interesting and really like it's really exciting development. They're calling it sort of the 2.0.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see that. However, I kind of want to get to the meat and potatoes of the pricing.
Yeah.
Because it's not on its own. It comes with the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack.
Yeah. So you can buy it individually, or you can buy the pass with the online.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You buy the pass online, but if you decide to end your expansion pack subscription, you'll no longer have access to the Happy Home Paradise DLC.
Right.
So it's like kind of like Game Pass style.
Yeah. But for DLC.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It just is very weird. Especially if I don't know how their messaging is going to be when it comes out, but if people get told, oh, well, if you just get the expansion pack, then you get this for free.
Yeah.
And then they're going to cancel the expansion pack. Maybe they didn't care about the N64. I'll be honest. I think a lot more people will care about this DLC than they will care about the 8 N64 games that are coming out and the 12 Mega Drive games that are coming out. And so, there might be a lot of people that get bamboozled by this who get the expansion pack because they know they get this. Yeah. And then after a year, they'll be screwed.
Yeah. Let's actually talk.
Weird choice.
Let's talk about the expansion pack actually, because I think this is probably the biggest story of the week, because it's not got a great response online. And I have a number of I've lots of weird feelings about it, because but let's just talk about it first, and then we'll get to that. So, the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack release date and pricing was revealed. So, it's going to be launching on the 25th of October, which is next Monday, or the 26th, depending on your location. That will include the Animal Crossing DLC, which then comes on the 5th of November, which is the week after. And the prices are as follows. So, for 12 months, you pay $49.99 for a single user, $39.99 euros for a single user as well in Europe, and £34.99 for the 12 months. But if you use a family pass, which has up to 8 users, it goes up to basically $80, 70 euros, and £60, essentially.
Yeah.
Just cut off a cent and a penny for all of those. So value for money, basically they've doubled the price. That is a price doubling for all.
More than doubled.
Well, I think the original
for the individual membership.
I think the
£18 it used to be.
It was 80. Well, the family pass was £30, and now it's 60.
Yeah.
So that has probably just doubled. I'll let you speak. I'll let you give your points on this first, because I just want to see if you cross over anything I'll say as well.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know, it's just, the problem is now, okay, so $34.99 a year is still cheaper than you'd get for PlayStation, right? And you get access to the N64, Mega Drive, the NES and the SNES. But if you already have Nintendo Switch Online, you're paying £27 extra just for the N64 and Mega Drive. Whereas if you're new to it and you're like, wait, for £35 I can get access to NES, SNES, that feels like a much better deal. But if you've probably already played everything you want to from the NES and SNES emulators. So realistically, you're paying £35 to have really bad connection for Smash Bros. And to play 8 N64 games that you've probably either played or haven't played for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, when you've got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, who's really booting up Mario Kart 64?
Well, it is interesting because, that is a really good point. Mario Kart 64 as well is such a niche thing for someone to go back to and play, because it doesn't play as well as it's not as user-friendly. It doesn't look as good. So, for people like me, I'll go back and play it with my friends because that's the game we grew up playing, and there will be a nostalgic appeal to that. But people who are 15 years old, they can be like, oh, I'll play it once. But in the same way, I don't get the same love for like the SNES games because I didn't play them that someone else might.
Right.
There's certain games I have. But yeah, I'll give my thoughts on it as because basically I am going to play the Animal Crossing DLC, and I am probably and I probably won't really play it much longer than a year anyway. And I am going to play the probably not going to play all of those games. It's just a few games that I will play with it on the N64. But the difference with me is that I have people on a family plan, which means that I only pay £15 or £20 a year
Sure.
for the whole year, which means I'm only paying £15 or £20 for the entire year, which is, as a deal, I mean, that's fine. Like that's absolutely fine for what I'm getting. It's not even a thing. But like if I was paying the £35 on my own, I would be looking at it far less favourably, especially when it's not that different to, I think it's like, what, £10 cheaper than the PlayStation 5, the PS Plus.
It's £5 cheaper.
There we are. And you get 3...
Even though the last 4 months have been kind of rubbish PS Plus games, for the majority.
Yeah.
Like, they are giving you a PS5 game every month.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the game is, they're giving you a PS5 game, and there aren't many of those anyway.
And if you think of some of the games we've had, though, like, it might not be to my taste, but we have had Battlefield 5 for free. We've had Hitman 2. My friend's been playing Hitman 2, and he's like, it's the first Hitman game he's ever played, and he's loving it. Like, so, like, even just on those two games alone, even if you bought them second-hand, it's coming close to £40, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a weird one. If I was paying £35 on my own, I would feel maybe a more annoyed, and I can completely understand why people are, but I think I'm in a more favorable position anyway.
Yeah. I just don't see myself. I thought Happy Home Paradise was going to be given to you if you signed up during this first however much time, but like seeing that actually it's on like a subscription basis kind of worries me a bit. And my hype for this expansion, which was really high, is actually quite dampened by it all, by the weird pricing around it all. And I'm looking at these N64 games, like, I don't need to play Super Mario 64 again. Yeah. I don't need to play Ocarina of Time again. I've got it on 3DS. It's the better version, in my opinion. Mario Kart 64, I just don't like, and is not nowhere near one of the best Mario Karts, in my opinion.
Although it's in the Video Games Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Lilac Wars, well, I've got Star Fox on the SNES emulator, which is a much better game.
Yeah.
Sin and Punishment, bleh. Dr. Mario is garbage. Mario Tennis 64, when you've got Mario Tennis Aces, you can probably pick up on sale somewhere. Operation Winback, never heard of it. And Yoshi's Story, and you've got Yoshi's Island on the SNES emulator. Like, what are they offering? That's £25 there.
Again, I think it's nostalgia. Well, apparently as well, like the issue, one of the big issues is, and it's, I saw this on Twitter the other day. The big issue and the reason why it's so expensive is purely down to licensing costs. So that tells me that there must be something coming which we might not be expecting, because if they've paid so much money for something, it could just be Microsoft and it could just be the Banjo-Kazooie games, but there could be a surprise. It could be. I'm not expecting GoldenEye, but that would be one hell of a drop if you could have 4-player GoldenEye with modern controls. Yeah, like people would buy it purely for that. It is a weird one. I think there's a lot of people who felt like Nintendo were insinuating as well that this DLC thing is going to be going on further, so that like. Next year they might offer DLC for another game on top of the Animal Crossing. So it's just Nintendo at their most Nintendo, essentially. They don't make things easy.
Obviously, I'm going to compare it to Game Pass, because Game Pass is £11 a month, right? And that's it's a lot more money than what Nintendo are asking for. You get access to over 100 games. Yeah. Within 2 months, you're still paying. Well, what? So the thing would be 3 months worth, just over 3 months worth of Game Pass. In 3 months, if Game Pass only ever offered me DLC for one of their games, I'd probably unsubscribe. Yeah. And if they gave me 8 like original Xbox games, or even like 25 of them, I'd be like, "What is this subscription?"
We do give Nintendo a pass. I'm not saying I'm using a general term. That like. Gamers give Nintendo a pass for so many things. Can we start placing bets on how many times you mentioned Game Pass in one episode? ACP and the SAS. Over under on 25 times is Dav Gabe's response. I will appreciate that. But no, we do give Nintendo a pass. Like if like you said, if Microsoft in particular had done something like this last generation, they would have been rightfully, like, people would be having a go at them.
Slaughtered.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think Nintendo has that nostalgic appeal, which I don't know if Sony and Microsoft has to the same degree, and they can get away. I'm not saying get away with it in a sense, but people are willing to pay it. Like I said, for me, I will be getting it because it's £15. Like, for me,
sure.
Like, I've got enough people in it, so like it makes it completely worth if I play. Even with the DLC, that's £10 less than what I pay if I just bought the DLC for 25 quid. But yeah, it's a real weird one, and it did definitely. It was one of those weird things where I saw that at the end of this amazing Nintendo Direct and went, "Ooh, people are not happy." And currently on YouTube, it is like, I think it's for every 3 votes of up or down, like or dislike, 2 out of them are dislike, and 1 of them is like. So it's like a lot of people are not happy, basically.
Yeah.
Speaking of people being unhappy, Elden Ring is being moved back to February 25th, which is only a month, thankfully. But, which is quite nice. This is going to be nice. There is going to be a beta test next month. So you can sign up on November 1st, and testing sessions will be scheduled to take place from the 12th to the 15th. Did you see the leak of Elden Ring 2 days ago?
No.
There was a 30-second gameplay leak of Elden Ring, which I actually stumbled across, and I didn't realize what it was until I read it. And if it is Elden Ring, it looks incredible. If it's not, then someone's made a bloody good-looking game. Right, let's move on from Elden Ring. There's not really much more we can say about that, even though I am excited. A month is not that bad.
Month is good. A month is polish. That's all it is.
If month is polish, I'll take a month. I'll polish. So Metroid Dread sales are going very well. So in Japan, the data suggests that in 3 days, Dread sold 86,000 copies, which meant it's already outsold the lifetime sales of nearly every single Metroid game in Japan, excluding Fusion, Hunters, and the original Metroid. I think it's not even got that much more to beat 2 of them. I think the original Metroid sold like 1 million copies in Japan, but it was so new and so fresh, and there wasn't really that many games.
Yeah.
Everyone just bought Nintendo games back then, so it's kind of a weird one. I don't know if it'll ever beat that, but it's going really well. The sales are going really well. That combines with the UK launch, which I think is the biggest ever launch in the UK. Actually, is now officially the biggest ever launch in the UK, and it's selling ridiculously well in the US. The issue is we don't have. This is only physical copies, so we don't even have the digital sales yet. So as soon as we add in the digital sales, this could be even bigger.
Nintendo quarterly earnings report should be fairly soon.
Yeah, next month, maybe?
Next month. So we'll hear about, because they do combine digital sales.
They do, yeah.
In their numbers. So that'll be good. It should now be the top in the top 10 Switch selling games. I imagine it sold over 1 million.
Yeah, what do you think a lifetime target would be for this game?
Well, let's think.
So bear in mind, the best-selling Metroid game ever is Prime, and it sold 2.9 million. That's the best ever.
3 mil.
Yeah. I think it could. I think it'll settle somewhere. But I think it'll be the best selling Metroid game, and I think it'll land somewhere between 3 million and 5 million. But it'll definitely, I think it'll be the best selling Metroid game. There seems to be more than any other Metroid game before. There's just wave of people online saying how much they want to play it. New people playing it. Like, do you remember when Samus Returns came out and nothing was said? I remember, when Samus Returns came out 4 years ago, and nothing was said. It was such a.
We're all talking about the Switch.
Yeah, we're all talking about the Switch because it got swallowed up by that. Realistically, if they'd held up for 6 months, it probably would have come to the Switch.
Yeah.
Which would have been really interesting. But yeah, Metroid is selling like crazy. Let's move on to 2 new games that are coming next year, both from Warner Brothers. I don't know if you saw these, Dav, but we actually had more gameplay footage.
I missed DC Fandom.
Yeah, it was pretty good, actually. It was some really cool stuff. The 2 main games, obviously, are Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So Gotham Knights sees players controlling one of 4 superhero characters, which is Nightwing, Robin, Red Hood, and Batgirl, following the death of Bruce Wayne, whilst Suicide Squad follows Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and King Shark, who go on a mission to save Earth and kill the world's greatest DC superheroes, the Justice League. That is basically what the entire game, both games are about. They can both be played solo or in co-op, and they come out in 2022. Both of them come out in 2022. I think Suicide Squad is made by Rocksteady, and Gotham Knights is made by the Montreal. I think it's Warner Brothers Montreal. I don't know which one I'm. So I saw the gameplay for both. I think I'm more excited for Gotham Knights, and I think it's because Suicide Squad basically just looks like Guardians of the Galaxy, but Suicide Squad. And I think a lot of other people have thought that as well. Like, they're kind of making that into the like sort of weird and funny and kooky version of like the DC, which is fine. It could be one. It could be the better game, and it could be better than. But there was something about Gotham Knights which, like, I don't know, really intrigued me, and the fact that like Batman's dead. I mean, that's just a really interesting narrative to play from there.
Yeah, the only thing I will say is that obviously Rocksteady have a great pedigree for action combat.
They do. That is my thought process. They have a much better pedigree.
Yeah, so I think that it might play well enough that the naff jokes will be survivable.
Yeah, because I think the Montreal made Batman Origins, the prequel.
Yeah,
that wasn't as good. Like,
wasn't as beloved.
It wasn't as good as the one that the two that definitely came before it, at least City and Asylum, which you can get all three of those games: City, Asylum, and the other one, which Night. Yeah, you can get those three for £16 right now on your PlayStation. Because I checked last night.
Get it done.
I was very tempted, but I have no money, so I was less tempted because of that. And finally, last bit of news, Sora is out today or tomorrow, depending on where you live and what time you're listening to it. I guess in the past, if you're listening to this next week.
Whoa.
I know. Are you going to get it, Dav? Are you going to get Sora for Smash?
I haven't played Smash in a while, man.
I haven't played Smash in a while. I think the last time I played it was either with Zach or when me, you, and Dav Wiggs played it.
Yeah.
With that chap online who was playing as Hero. Non-stop.
Oh, yeah.
Non-stop.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was a while ago. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it, but it doesn't mean that I don't think it's a really good choice for a character, and I hope everyone loves it.
Yeah.
I have been watching some Smash Bros. Like clips online actually recently. I've been feeling the zeitgeist, so maybe, but I've got enough to play.
I've been really enjoying seeing reaction videos. Like, sometimes like some really good reaction videos are just so great to watch. Like, people actually losing it, but in a really nice, not like an over. Sometimes it can just be over the top, but sometimes just people really loving it, and I love that. I think it's great. Like, people are just really happy, and it's great. All right, that's the news. Should we actually one final bit of news actually, because it's just come to my head. Did you hear that FIFA might be taking the license off EA?
They've trademarked the name EA Sports FC, which is a much worse name.
It's a very worse name. Very,
if
very worse.
If you're going to go with anything, it's got to just be EA Sports Football, right?
Surely.
But I don't know. I think they'll pay up because FIFA are asking for double the money for the trademark.
Yeah.
I think they'll pay up because.
Well, apparently,
I mean, it's so the label is worth so much.
Well, that's the thing is, it's all to do with the licenses for the World Cup and stuff like that. And apparently, FIFA have said that there have been other companies who have come to them and said, we want to make a football game. Can we get your license? So they want to be able to license it to more companies than just EA. And EA are notorious when it comes to we'll pay this much, so we are the only ones. And they've been very angry at that. So yeah, that is a developing story, and I imagine that when it kicks off, we'll talk about that a bit more, but I just thought we'd mention that really quickly. Yeah, let's talk about games we've been playing. Dab, do you want to go first? Because we might end up talking about the same games, but I'll see what you say first.
We won't.
Okay, cool.
So I'm talking about a game that is actually on the SNES emulator.
Oh, yes.
But was never released in outside of Japan.
Okay.
And that is Mario Picross.
Nice.
So for those that don't know, Picross is like a puzzle game. They're called nonograms, where it's a bunch of empty squares, and then there's numbers at the top, numbers on the side, and those numbers indicate groupings of the squares that you have to fill in, and they end up making a sort of pixelated image. And it's so chill and it's so relaxing. And this one's really nice because even though it looks old, it looks so old.
Yeah.
But it's there's like two different sets of puzzles you can do. One of them are the Mario puzzles, and one of them are the Wario puzzles.
Right.
And so even though none of the puzzles at all are related to gaming, every time you complete the 12 puzzles, Mario comes up and goes in Japanese, like, congratulations, you completed level 1 or whatever. But then there's the Wario ones, which are actually a bit more fiendish and require a bit more understanding of what the puzzles are. But I'm really enjoying it, and it's just so chill. Like, I'll like turn the Switch on and I go, I should play Metro Dread. I'll do a couple puzzles. I'll just do a couple puzzles. And I do like 12 puzzles in a row, and I'm like, yeah. This is good. But yeah, have you ever played any Picross games?
I've not, but I've heard people really love them. Like, people rave about Picross all the time. All variants of them.
There's 6 Picross games on the Switch, Picross S 1 to 6. And I completed Picross S1, so it's like 250 puzzles. And by the end of it, you're just like an absolute genius. You're like, oh, there's only 2 squares in this row of 25. Well, I can work out because this one, this one, this one, they can't be there, so I cross those ones out. And you're like, oh yeah, this is some good puzzling. And there's a game actually I've downloaded on Steam that I've not played yet called Murder by Numbers, which is a murder mystery Picross style game.
Nice.
And so like you discover evidence and stuff and through doing like nonograms. So yeah, it's such a good genre, such a good puzzle genre, and it's so addictive and chill. And yeah, like a puzzle takes like 6 minutes max. The hard ones, the easy ones take like 10 seconds. It's just it's real chill.
I got into Sudoku for a while. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
but I don't know if it's anything. I've never even played Picross, so I don't even know how to play it.
It's in the same ballpark as Sudoku, but like I think it's a much more rewarding experience.
Well, especially when Mario jumps out and goes, that's a great, that's it.
Exactly. And then when Wario comes out as well, it's like, level 1.
Yeah.
You know, because he's Mexican.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it's good. It's good stuff.
Very quick question. Have you finished Dread yet? Are you coming close to the end?
I haven't finished it yet. I had a very busy weekend. I was planning to finish it and then it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm just over 2/3 of the way through now. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the controls. And I wish that the ability to sort of reveal the blocks that you can break came at the beginning of the game and not halfway through. But even more than that, I'd rather they just weren't hidden in the first place. Because there's no like lore or story reason as to why these would be hidden. And they're obviously just gameplay mechanics, but they just feel like they really are just gameplay mechanics from 25 years ago.
That's literally what it is. Yep.
So yeah, I wouldn't have minded it as like a nod for like some of the bigger secrets, but it just feels a bit like a chore every now and then, and you get into a really good flow for like a good like hour and a half, and then you come up against a boss fight, and the boss fight's so rewarding because you get wiped out immediately by a boss. You're like, how the heck am I supposed to beat this thing?
Yeah.
And then, like, sort of the second or third time, you're like, oh, there's the moment. I can slide under the legs or something. And you piece it together, and eventually you do it sort of within, like, 6 or 7 attempts. And that progression from, like, feeling helpless to feeling like an absolute boss is so beautifully done. And to think these are the developers who made the 3D Castlevania games, which were average to say the least. Really surprising and really cool. I'm definitely looking forward to finishing the game. And yeah, you have finished the game, right?
I was gonna I'll latch onto that but there's another game I really want to talk about because I don't really want to because I imagine we might end up doing like a spoiler dread thingy because me and you and Dav weeks have played it or playing it, so like we can have a chat about that, so that's quite nice. But I did finish it and I completely agree. I think I got to the final boss and it whooped my butt for about 40 minutes. But like you're totally right in everything you say about it's those you'll learn phase by phase and you go, if I do this I can defeat, and then you get your butt whooped for the first 10 times, and then the 11th time you realize you got to the final form without even losing any health, and you're like, that was easy. But you felt the progression because you had taken the time to learn it, and it was hard, but it wasn't like it's hard in a way that like it's because you don't know what's coming. But as soon as you know what's coming, it's just like, oh no, I've just got to be patient, and that literally just rewards patience, and that's something I fundamentally don't have. So it took me a while to learn. Patience.
It's the difference in some games where it feels like you're banging your head against a brick wall.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, it feels like you're banging a pickaxe against a brick wall.
Yeah.
So every time you're chipping away, you're like, oh, I can see through the wall.
Yeah.
I understand this now. I know I'm making progress, and I can just keep going.
It felt, you're totally right. It felt difficult, but not in a way that felt unfair. Like, and I think that's the most important thing. Sometimes you play games where you get beaten, and you're like, how am I supposed to do this? Even if I learn the mechanics, it just feels unfair, and I feel lucky to get past it. But like
the double Chozo boss.
Oh, I loved that. I loved it because it
was. I had no idea how to do it, and then it just clicked, and I was like, "Oh, sweet, I got this." And it didn't take any damage, and I was like, "Yeah!"
That's the thing. Like, you work out their patterns, and like you just go, "Oh wow, I just nailed this. This is amazing," and I feel so. And we said this last week. Samus is badass, and yes, Samus is still badass.
She is.
I said this last week, and I kind of am still sticking to it. It's currently tied for my number one spot with Hitman 3 of games from this year. Anyway, there's still some games I haven't played. But for me personally, those are my, like, Hitman 3 and Metroid Dread are my two are fighting for number one, and I realistically think the only game that can compete with it now is Halo. One of those,
and even then, Halo needs to come out and like swinging.
Yeah, it really, really does.
For me, Dread doesn't quite reach the heights of Game of the Year.
Yeah.
For my personal list.
Yeah.
But if we had to come up with a Video Games Ahoy Game of the Year, I can't see many games that wouldn't get my vote if we got down to it. But I mean, I think Psychonauts 2 for me was a really special experience. Let's have a look, actually, because I've started making a list, actually.
I started doing that as well. I was at work and I was like, I got time, let's write a list. But then I realised that so many of my favourite games from this year are either remakes or re-releases.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Yeah,
like the Mass Effect series, like the trilogy. That was like one of my favorite experiences of the year, but I haven't played them for 10 years.
Yeah, well, I'd say my number 3 last year was Tony Hawk's 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's weird, because when remakes are so good, and remasters are so good, it's like, well, it basically is a new game, especially if it's you're experiencing it for the first time.
Yeah, or you haven't played it in so long as well.
Yeah.
Very quick.
What else have you been playing?
Well, this is just want to say really quickly, because this is like an ongoing thing, and I've been playing Back 4 Blood with my friend Carl.
Yes, I need to get in on this.
Yeah. So I might honestly I think we're going to try and complete it, and then we might end up because I don't know if we'll get a chance to stream for the next couple of weeks, at least until like I'm in the flow of like work and stuff. But so I am just trying to do that with my friend Carl every like an hour here and there. And do you know what? Like, if I was playing it on my own, I think I would give it a 6. But because I'm playing with my friend Carl, and we're having fun, and we're like doing, and it's like an 8. It's fun. Like, it's not bad. It controls really well. It's not like I'm just having a lot of fun. Like, do you know what I mean? It's one of those things where sometimes you play a game, and I don't need it to be a 10. I just need it to be fun. I need to just sit there and think, I'm just killing zombies.
And when it's on Game Pass, like, a 6 is so much more forgivable.
Exactly. I think it's because I said I wouldn't be streaming for a while. I think that's what I was thinking, yeah. No, I am, like, when I get into a flow of things, I'm definitely hoping to stream again, because I do actually miss it. There's a couple of games I've been really, really wanting to stream. But yeah, Back 4 Blood is going to be something that I think will continue on until I complete it. But it's just a good game. You know, it's not a great game, but it's a good game.
Sure. And I need to get in it. I need to get in on this.
It's good,
especially before Battlefield comes out.
Oh yeah.
When Battlefield comes out, I'm not playing anything else.
Yeah. But yeah, Dav, unless you've played any other games, I think that's it. I think we're done. That's a full fat 50-minute podcast.
I did play something else. I can't remember what it is, but I've started making my way through the. I was telling you about the Castlevania Anniversary collection, not the advanced one. But at the same time, I also had the Contra Anniversary collection.
Yes, you did.
So I've only just scratched the surface, but I've played the first 2 of them, And those games are rock solid, like because the first two are the arcade cabinet versions, so like they're like quarter eaters or whatever the phrase is, but yeah, quarter pounders. Hey. But yeah, man, it's Contra because I've always loved Metal Slug. I've never even touched Contra. It's like being Pez and FIFA. Like you only ever done one, so gonna make my way through those, and then afterwards I'm gonna freshen my palate and play Metal Slug 4.
Nice. I can't. But, I'm looking forward to the tactics game when it comes out eventually. I'm really excited for it. It looks great. Like it looks so good.
This isn't the time to talk about it because I could talk about it for 25 minutes. Oh my gosh.
Damn, but actually, just because we've got like say 5 more minutes, we can just briefly talk about it because we are coming into like the closing months, and I think Game Awards coming in December. So if
December 9th.
Yeah, there we are. So like, do you want to just check out some ideas for like maybe not say what your game of the year is, but just check out some like some of your favorite games of the year, because like I guess by the time we get in the next 2 months, we'll have a more rounded list. But is there anything that stands out for you?
So for me, Psychonauts 2 is kind of just number one.
Yeah.
But just shy of it, Little Nightmares 2.
Yeah.
Mad to think that came out this year. This year's gone on so long.
Yeah.
Kena Bridge of Spirits, I had a lot of enjoyment with.
Yeah.
It's a really nice experience to 100% that. The Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games game. Like, it was silly, it was nonsensical, but it was my only platinum that I've ever got.
Nice.
I had so much fun playing that, and so much fun streaming it as well.
That feels right as well. If you're going to win something in a game, you want to win it in an Olympic game. You know?
Who needs gold medals when you get platinum trophies?
Platinum is just higher. It's just higher. It's better. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Metroid Dread, even though I've not finished it, is definitely up there. There was a game I played, it was on Game Pass. Oh gosh. I can't remember when now. Maybe May? Maybe June? I can't remember. Maybe earlier. Called Genesis Noir.
Oh yeah.
Which was like a bonkers adventure, kind of point and click. It's this sort of like cosmic jazz adventure game. And man, I did a whole playthrough in one night on stream, and that was a wild ride. I definitely recommend making your way through that.
Yeah.
And a big shout out to the Artful Escape, which if Genesis Noir is cosmic jazz, then Artful Escape is cosmic rock opera. And my gosh, like Artful Escape, that was an experience, and Jonny, you need to play that game. More so than you needed to play 12 minutes.
I still haven't played it. I still haven't played 12 minutes.
Oh, no. Push 12 minutes back. Push the Artful Escape forward. 4 hours. 3.5, 4 hours. And there's very little playing. But just the joy of it, and the comedy is actually amusing in it. The characters are really cool. It's all about, you play, I think I've already talked about it on the podcast before, but you're playing the nephew of a sort of a Bob Dylan, Jeff Buckley kind of type who sort of died before his time. And you're about to play your first gig, and then a guy comes down from space and is like, yo, I need a support act for my cosmic tour. And you're like, okay, it's like you're reinventing yourself, trying to like escape from your uncle's shadow and like subvert expectations from like everyone that you know and stuff. And it's really cool, and you sort of like build a persona, like a Ziggy Stardust kind of persona for your character. And then just do some like fat licks and like amazing solos. And like, everyone should go and play that game. It's a slow start, but once you get past the first half an hour, you actually get into the meat and potatoes of it. What a lovely game.
I mean, it's interesting as well, because I think that, like, for me at least, and maybe because there hasn't been that many big releases this year because of pandemic and everything getting delayed. Like, I have been able to tap a lot into my backlog. So like I was actually going through my list this in work, and I've only really played about 20 games this year, because I do like to play a game to completion, and I get like
20's a lot.
It is a
lot.
Games
are big.
Yeah, some games are massive, and like when I think like one of those games was, and it's weird as well because I realized something that's my Carl mentioned this. Cyberpunk technically will be up for is included this year.
Because
it was just after the Game Awards. So like if I chuck Cyberpunk in there as well, like that was the start of my back-to-back open world games. Honestly, I think Assassin's Creed Valhalla is probably the bottom of my list. Not because it's bad, because it was just one of the least enjoyable experiences from the halfway point until I finished it. 3D World, Bowser's Fury, that was awesome. I loved that. And Chickpea, you were there with me in that, and we played that a lot. That was a lot of fun, and that was just a really lovely game. I was going through loads of Resident Evil 2, my first Resident Evil game that I've completed. That was
just
great.
Looked, by the way, I completed 35 games so far this year. So you got some catching up to do. You need to get on these indies.
I think it's because I tend to play like big, fat, chunky, like because I played.
Well, you played through Mass Effect Trilogy.
I played the Mass Effect Trilogy, which is technically one game I included, but it's 3. But like that was 100 hours. Ghost of Tsushima was 70 hours. Assassin's Creed Valhalla was 60 hours. I put 80 hours into Cyberpunk. I don't know why I do this to myself. I should start playing smaller games. But yeah, like Skyward Sword. Like I've just had a lot of games that either been in my back catalogue, or just games from nostalgic appeal that I just really enjoyed. It's been a lovely year for gaming in a weird way.
It has, and I think because there are slightly less blockbuster games, it's allowed these sort of smaller games with a smaller marketing budget to actually get a voice.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it one more time, but Game Pass.
ACP, you got to go back through the podcast. I'll try and speak English.
This might be the most times we've ever said it.
Go back to the podcast and tally up the amount of times Dav Gabe says Game Pass. Maybe Game Pass should just be the title of the podcast today. Game Pass times 26.
Game Pass.
Yeah, Game Pass times 26 is the title of the podcast. That's for you, ACP. That is your title. Dav, I think we better wrap it up there because I'm getting hungry. But I'm also hungry for games. So next week we'll have a little chat about more games we've been playing. Thank you so much to everyone that has watched or listened to us. We really appreciate it. It's been a really lovely episode, Dav. It's been a really lovely episode. Even though we moaned about Nintendo for about 20 minutes. I don't care. But yeah, we'll be back next Monday. Next Monday will probably be the first time we start around about 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock, because that's when I start doing my my work, some course that I'm going to be doing for the next 5 months. It's going to be lovely. Otherwise, we'll say goodbye. Thanks again, Dav, and bye everyone.
Cheers.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.